Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I've had to do this one on my phone because I've been having problems with my connection on my laptop, which is really weird because the internet is working fine. So yes, we are on here. I will hold on and let a few people jump on. Just had a small child come in. So just been sorting him out and then preparing for this training session, which I'm really excited to do with you. So the session today is all about the membership launch that I did in August and why I made the decision to close it a couple of weeks ago. So it's the final week of the membership this week. And I wanted to do this training with you because this has been a massive learning experience for me, and I wanted to share it with you so that you can understand like my thought process, how I do things, and hopefully learn from the lessons that I learned so that when you're looking and planning your business, you don't make the mistakes that I made. And with this, I use the word mistake, but I always think that as an entrepreneur and in life, every opportunity, every experience is a chance for us to learn. So mistake to me is where we don't learn something. If we learn from it, then it was meant to be. And it's been an important and very valuable lesson to learn. Morning, hi B, hi Rihanna. I think that was one of the hardest things for me as an entrepreneur, as building my business, was getting used to not getting things right or things not going how I wanted them to be. I am a self-confessed recovering perfectionist, and the thought of doing things not perfectly and them not going in the way that I wanted them to terrified me in the beginning, and it kept me frozen for a really long time because doing nothing and staying where I was, however rubbish that was less scary than moving forward and making mistakes. Hi guys, hi Erin, hi Alex. So this, and even for me to reflect and think about how I've been able to deal with this situation and then come on and speak to you guys about it, that is a massive part of the journey. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about it, because when we're business owners, the more comfortable we can get with making mistakes and things not going to plan, the quicker we're going to move forward. Because when we stay in that place of indecision and fear, that's where we stall. And at least if we're taking action, even if it doesn't work out, we learn from it, we grow, we evaluate, we do things differently, and we're moving forward and we're making progress. Hi Leon. So I shall start. So for those of you that don't know me, I know there's a few new people in the group, which is great. Thank you for being here. I'm Steph. I'm a transformational business coach, and I help women to financial freedom without compromising themselves or their family life. And that is my main mission. It is to help more women live the business and life that they love, through financial freedom. So without compromising on the time that they spend with their family or burning themselves out, because I know that is something that a lot of us do. So that is my mission. That's what I do. The Extraordinary Business Evolution, this group, is all about you seeing that there's a way to do business that's different. That's why it's extraordinary. It isn't about the old systems that we are, we know, it's not about running a business. It isn't about being in a stuffy suit and having these rules and regulations that we need to follow. It's about tuning into you, connecting with you and what's in your heart, and then serving from that place. And that's where business gets to be fun. And it gets to be exciting, and you get to live the life that you want to live. That's what we're here for. Life is short, and it's about taking those brave steps to make your business work for you and for the people that you're working with, so that it feels good. Business should feel good. And we have so many stories that we hold on to around money, and I was reading something yesterday and it was about capitalism, and I think that we often equate running a business with capitalism, and they're very different things. We as women can run a business in integrity, in our truth, in our power, in a way that empowers other people, and that is completely different to capitalism. So starting that process of understanding that capitalism and running a business is completely different, and that we can run a business in a way that feels good and does good things. So that's an introduction about me. Let's take a little bit of water. So in the summer, I ran a 6-week program called the Foundation Program, which was amazing. I had 7 wonderful women on the program, and we had this amazing community, and it was great. They made fantastic progress in their business and personal lives. And when that came to an end, a couple of them were saying, "Are you going to do a membership?" And a couple of people in this group had asked me if I was going to do a membership. And now a membership had been something that I'd thought about, but it was something for the future. It wasn't something that I was going to do straight away. And then when people said, "Are you going to do one?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I could do one actually. I could do it now. Of course I could." And I really wanted to continue that feeling of small community that we'd had in the Foundation Program, because people had really connected. So I just went with it, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Let's just set up the membership. And the Extraordinary Business Group is really around business, so helping you to make money in a way that feels good. The membership, I decided, would be Rise and Vibe, and it would be very much focused on raising your vibration, which is an essential part of what I teach. And I was really excited about having a group just focused on that. So without the business, and just doing, hi Ellen, just doing the inner work, the healing, the energetic work, raising the vibe. So that's what the membership was about. And we had 17 people who joined the group, which was fantastic. And as we were going along, as we do, we're all busy, and I'm juggling lots of different things. So for those of you that don't know, I've got my children at home full time. I home educate them. Obviously, I've got this group, the free group. I have a free local group, which is the Ilkley Female Business Owners Group. And then I had the membership as well. So plus home educating, plus my one-to-one clients. So there's quite a lot going on. And within sort of a month and 5 weeks, I would say, of the membership running, I needed to check in with myself. I could feel that my energy wasn't high. It wasn't where I needed it to be. I wasn't showing up in this group in the way that I wanted to, or very much at all, because I just didn't have the time. And it's about noticing those signals. So when I talk to you about having a daily practice, a daily morning practice, it is to give yourself the opportunity to see what is coming up for you. When we're really busy and we're consuming content all the time, like we do, and we've got kids and we've got partners and we're working, we're getting messages for all the time from our brain, our body, around different things. When we're really busy and taking a lot of information from external parties, we can't hear those messages very clearly. And that's why morning practice is really important. It doesn't have to be in the morning, whatever time works for you, but some quiet time to allow the messages to come through to you. Because when we don't, that is where we keep going and keep going and keep going. And then if you're anything like me, 10 years down the line, you find yourself on a path and you think, oh, how did I get here? And that's, what motivates me today to have this group, is to support you guys, that you're constantly checking in with your intuition. Intuition is not something that we are taught much about. And checking in with your intuition, checking in with your heart. I talk a lot about checking in with your heart space is so important, because that is where you can hear what's going on for you. And that is so I was feeling like I was spread really thin. And I knew that even on a conscious level, it was obvious that was happening. And then through my practice, sitting quietly, how are things going? How do I feel? I talk a lot to my clients about having a review on a Sunday. How did the past week go? What went well? What didn't go so well? What are the learnings? Just having that opportunity to reflect and really tune into yourself. And through that process, it became obvious that Rise and Vibe was taking me away from my core purpose. So that is my tip number 1, always connecting with your purpose. And your purpose, whether you're starting out in business, if you're new to business, or if you've already got a business, connecting in with your purpose is really important. It is about why you're doing the things that you're doing for yourself, for your family, and for the people that you serve. And having that purpose is what's going to guide you. It's going to help you stay on the right path. It's going to help you to say no to things that aren't on that path. It's going to help you get over any hurdle, because you've got this real passion and purpose in your heart that you can keep coming back to. It makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to find a way forwards and to overcome anything that comes in your path. So connect with your purpose. That is the first thing that I did not do. I did to a certain extent because I love teaching people and helping them to do the inner work. It's just something that I'm really passionate about. So the Rise and Vibe really fitted with that. But the thing that I missed, and I actually didn't perhaps realise until going through this process, is that financial independence has to be at the centre of everything that I do for women. And that is why, you know, the first reason why Rise and Vibe was off purpose was that it wasn't related to business. It was mostly women who were in business, but the premise of it was around raising your vibration, and it didn't have the financial aspect in there. So this process has allowed me to see that everything that I do needs to tie in with supporting women to financial freedom. That is really important to me, and by going through the process that I've gone over the last few weeks, it's allowed me to really dig deeper into why that's important. And I've been doing some breathwork training with an amazing guy called Jay Bradley, and through that it came up in one of my sessions. I knew helping women to financial freedom was really important, and I think my thoughts around that were because I found myself in a position that I wasn't happy with. So I had a successful career, you know, I was the main breadwinner, and then through having children, I kind of turned, I think me and B were chatting about this the other day, into this 1950s housewife where I was just at home looking after the children in the house, and I didn't have any income, and yeah, I just found myself in this really strange position that I would never have envisaged. So that financial freedom, I thought, came from that, from being in that position and wanting to help other women that have found themselves in that position as well. But through my breathwork with Jay, it actually came up that it comes back to my mum. So my mum she'd had a long-term illness, and she'd been on disability allowance for a really long time. And she was never her and my dad were happy, but it was acutely aware to me, even as a teenager, that if my mum had ever wanted to leave, she wouldn't have been able to because she couldn't afford to. And through my breathwork session with Jay, that came up, which was really interesting to me because I hadn't realised that before. I want every woman to be in a relationship and be making decisions from a place of love rather than from fear. And if you haven't got enough money yourself, it's really difficult to make decisions that aren't tied in with finances. So that was what my mission is. You know, that's what my mission is that every woman has the money to make the decisions that feel right for them, not influenced by whether they can afford to, or whether it's safe for them to, or whether you know, they're going to be able to do that or not do things. I want them to have the money there so they can make choices that feel right, not from a place of fear. So that's what this whole process has given me. It's given me an opportunity to really hone down and get super clear on exactly who it is I help and how I help them and why that's important to me. So that's the first thing. Always connecting with your purpose. Morning, Kira. Connecting with your purpose, and do it from a place of love, not from fear. So that's going off topic, but you know, definitely when people were saying to me, oh, you know, I'd love to have a membership with you, you know, my ego kicks in and it's like, oh great, yeah, people want to have a membership, yeah, let's just do that. And I think we can all get guilty of getting swept away and getting caught up in other people's enthusiasm. And how many times have you found yourself saying yes to something when you take a step back and then you're like, why have I even agreed to that? Now, that wasn't the case with the membership because I did really want to do it and I enjoyed it. But certainly, put it another way, if people hadn't been coming to me saying, will you set up a membership, I wouldn't have been setting up a membership at this point in my business. And that's where you have to be so crystal clear on what your goals are and where you're going and why you're doing it. Because we have so many pulls on our time and so much shiny object syndrome, particularly as entrepreneurs. I don't know if you've seen my post that I've put up today, but you know, we always think that we need this magic strategy, you know, oh, I'll just do that download, or I'll sign up to this challenge, or maybe this person's got the answers. And unless you're completely new to business, you know, the answers are always inside. They always are. And even if you are completely new to business, honestly, if you just connected in with yourself really, really, truly, and who you would love to help and serve, you would find clients, and then you can build the strategy stuff out afterwards. And I love strategy. It's really important, but it isn't more important than connecting in with yourself. So that's the first thing, connect with your purpose. The second thing is more strategy based, and that is be realistic about the practicalities. So I'm an eternal optimist, and I always underestimate how long things are going to take. So when you're doing something, even with the best will in the world, you have to think logically. Firstly, we've covered off, connect with your purpose. Is this where I want to go? And if it is, then you have to think, have I got the time and energy to do that? And that was my second thing that I didn't do. I didn't take a step back and consider how much time and energy it would take to run the Facebook group and then do the trainings that I would want to do. Because when I do something, I like to do it really well. I don't want to do something that I'm not proud of. So that is what I didn't do. And when I went through this process over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks where I was considering what to do, when I thought about my energy, and you know that I talk about energy a lot, switching my energy between 2 free groups, Rise and Vibe, and the one-to-one clients, it was too much. I couldn't do that. It wasn't realistic that I could be having and giving 100% to these different groups of people, plus taking in the practicalities of home educating and running a household. So that's what I'd really invite you to think about when you're thinking about either a new income stream or a new service that you want to offer, or if you're just starting out in business, you need to be realistic about how much time you've got. And I'm a real believer that we create our own time, and you need to think about the other things that you need to get done. Or if you do that, how can you hand those out to other people so that you do have the time to give to the thing that you want to? So that was something that I'd really encourage you to do that I didn't do. Because I kind of did the membership of, oh yeah, let's do this and we'll get it done and it'll be fine. I hadn't thought about the practicalities of what that would need from me and whether I could juggle it with my other responsibilities. So that leads me really nicely onto my third thing, that is something that I'm really keen to share in the group more often. And really, I'm working with this a lot with my one-to-one clients. How can you maximize your impact and income in the shortest amount of time? So really what that means is taking a step back, thinking about the life that you want to lead, your dream life, working back from that point, reverse engineering, and then thinking, what is going to create the maximum amount of impact and income in the shortest amount of time? Because I see so many women who want to help and want to serve and want to do all these good things. And, that's what I want to do too. And we want to create this really amazing world where people are looked after. And when we do that and we don't think about the impact and the income, particularly the income, what it can lead to is that we are not creating the impact or the income that we want to, because we're giving away too much for free or not enough money in the limited time that we have available. So it's about taking that step back and thinking, right, I have this time available, I have these resources, I have these skills that I can offer people. How can I create the maximum amount of impact and income in the shortest amount of time? And I've been having this conversation with a few people around finances, and I did a post about it this week. We seem to have this hang up that if we're helping people, we shouldn't be charging. And that's all to do with the capitalism and the patriarchy. There's a lot to go into there. But think about it. If you've got 20 hours a week, is it better to do something that doesn't create a lot of impact, but helps quite a lot of people? Perhaps say you've got a free group and you're in there and you're spending 20 hours a week in there and you're giving stuff away for free. Or thinking about the ripple effect, and this is really important, if you could work with 5 people in that 20 hours a week at a really deep level, really make transformational changes, and then they go out into the world and spread that transformation and that healing with other people. And I'm talking about that because whatever it is that you do, whether you provide a service or a product, you are transforming people's lives. You are solving a problem by giving them a solution. And if you're not clear on the problem that you're solving and the solution that you're offering, that's the first place to start. But if you want to sell and run a business successfully, you have to be clear on the problem you solve and the way that you solve it, the outcome that you get for people. And when you try to serve too many people on a surface level, you don't create the impact that you want to. And the person doesn't get the transformation that they could get. And you don't earn the income that you need to earn. And when you are poor, you cannot help people. And I know that's being blunt, but it's something that I've really had to think about a lot the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. Being poor doesn't serve anybody. The more money you earn, the more money you can help and the more positive changes you can make in the world. And changing your mindset around money and getting comfortable with being in abundance and earning the money that you deserve for the transformation that you create is paramount to you running a successful business. Now, whatever business you run, as I say, if it's a product or a service, you are changing people's lives, you're making a difference, because that's it's that tipping point, that's why they're going to buy from you. So really analysing your business, streamlining it, taking an objective look at, all of us do too much, looking at all the things that you're doing and thinking, if I had, say you've got 20 hours a week or 30, and then thinking, right, what if I only had 15 and what if I only had 10? What would be my absolute priority? Who would be the people that I would be helping and how would I be helping them? And come at it from that point of view. And I've been talking to quite a few of my clients about this recently because I know everyone's been but I know people who are running business, particularly my mum clients, the children going back to school is an opportunity to then spend time in the business. So not necessarily looking forward to the children going to school, but the time that it creates for you. And whilst we're going through this period of massive changes in the world, children being at school is not to be taken for granted, because I don't think we can. I know people that have had children come home and they've had to isolate and all that kind of thing. So what I'm really working with people on now is, how can you look at the minimum amount of hours you can work and create the maximum amount of impact? For practical reasons, because your children might be home, but also from personal reasons. How can you don't have to work all the hours God sends. You don't have to burn yourself out. You don't have to do those things. You can create a business that works for you in a way that feels easy and fun, earning the income that you want to. So that's my invitation to you on that third point. How can you maximize your impact and income in the shortest amount of time? Still giving a really high service, still giving amazing transformations, but switching things up so that you can think, okay, how can I do this in the most time effective way? So I'll just see if anybody has got any questions. I don't know if I can see any. If you've got any questions, then pop them on. But there, to recap, they are my 3 main things. So firstly, connecting with your purpose. Really, really tune in with what's in your heart and who you're here to serve. And then second, be realistic about your practicalities. That was something I definitely didn't do. So thinking about your time and energy. What is going to, have you got the time and energy to do this new service or product? Or, when you're looking at your business as a whole, reverse engineering again, what's your main goal? And then working your way back and then building everything around that. And then the third thing is maximum impact and income. How can you create the most amount of money and the most amount of impact with the people that are going to get the deepest transformation? So rather than going wide and shallow, think about going narrow and deep. Who can you create that transformation with, and how can you do it for them in a way that's going to create massive impact, make huge changes to them and the community around you? So they're my 3 points. I don't know if I can see questions. If anybody has got any comments, if anybody has got any comments, drop them below, or any questions that you want to ask. I'm more than happy to ask them, and I'll be jumping on later on. But I hope that's helpful. So they're the 3 things to focus on. Tune into your purpose, and think about the practicalities, and think about creating the maximum amount of impact for the maximum amount of income. Have a lovely day, and I will catch up with you later on. See you all later.